All right, welcome guys. So in today's live stream, I'm just going to do a quick live stream, 20-30 minutes. I'm going to take a look at the crypto markets, especially Bitcoin and a few altcoin setups I'm watching this weekend. All right, let me know how the how the sound is, and also I want you guys to comment on that intro if you think the sound of the intro is too high, because I kind of played it right now and I listened in the speakers. It seems quite loud. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, any comments, or anything else you want me to look at tonight. So there's a few things I'm looking at, right? So yesterday I uploaded a video where I looked at Bitcoin and a few altcoins, and in particular I looked at 1inch and BAT. Actually what I did was we went through a long list of altcoins, and I've selected a few that I think looked best yesterday for potential longs today. But let's see if I can find the Bitcoin chart that I was using. I think it might have been this one. So basically the idea here was I was looking for Bitcoin to get above this resistance right here, and I would have wanted Bitcoin to break above this resistance while the altcoins were giving me a setup. Now you're seeing BAT and you're seeing 1inch, so the whole idea here was to see 1inch kind of break above the daily 20 EMA, which we got right here, right? Have a rounded retest of the breakout level, and that breakout level would be the 20 EMA in a daily. And I also like the fact that the breakout level and the retest is now confluent with the 4-hour 20 EMA and the daily 20 EMA, and we are also right now seeing the 4-hour stochastics down below in the oversold territory. So it kind of lines up for a potential long here, right? But the problem is the fact that Bitcoin has still not gotten above this resistance area right here. So you don't really want to long altcoins with Bitcoin being at resistance, right? That's quite important. It's much easier to go long on, let's take 1inch here, for example. Imagine if 1inch were testing this level right here while Bitcoin was giving us at least a breakout, right? The probability of 1inch bouncing here and continue upwards to the next resistance above, which is also confluent with the daily 50 EMA, the probability of that happening is much, much higher if Bitcoin is above resistance. This is a really good question. Will Bitcoin go up or down? Well, resistance tends to act as resistance. So while Bitcoin is trading at or below resistance and having some trouble getting above it, I kind of have to say it's probably going to go lower, right? Because we got rejected at that resistance. However, if we do test this resistance once again, because I would argue that we had a break below this general area right here, and this might have been that immediate retest, right? That immediate retest of that level. Sorry about that. I had to answer a message. So that might have been the retest, immediate retest of that level, which makes that the first retest, the second retest, and the third retest. You know what? Probably this is the first retest and this is the second retest. So if we do see a move lower down to support here and we bounce, that's going to be the third retest. We might even get a fourth retest. But the more this resistance area get retested, the higher the probability of us seeing a breakout, right? It's quite simple. By the way, guys, as you might have noticed, I'm doing this live on my own channel. I want to keep growing my own channel. So if you want to support me, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, you know, if you hit that like button and you comment, you're going to activate the YouTube algo. So we're going to get more people in here, and hopefully we can grow this channel into something nice and, you know, an educational hub for new traders. Anyway, so the probability of Bitcoin trading lower, I feel, is obviously much higher with the fact that it's below resistance. But you're asking me a question which is very hard to answer. It's like I'm trying to predict the future. I'm more interested in waiting for something to happen and then kind of trade based on what's happening and not what I think will happen, if that makes sense, right? So let's go through this list of altcoins right here, right? So we got 1 inch right here. I like 1 inch, and let's put a couple of fibs on here because I do think that we're testing the 50% level of this breakout move. And also, you know, look at that. It's just absolutely, you know, absolutely beautiful. It doesn't get much better than this. The 50% level right here is in perfect confluence. Why is that not working? Why am I not getting that up? Anyway, weird. So the 50% right here is in perfect confluence with the breakout level and that horizontal level. We also hit the 0.618, and then you look at the extension reload zone, as I like to call it, which is up here, right? The -618 and the -702 and the -786. It's in perfect confluence with the resistance area. So 1 inch is really ticking all the boxes right here. Now, what I want to do is, if you want to take a huge risk here and go long on this, because right now market buy this, I do not recommend it. But if you want to do that, if you want to take a big fat risk, which you probably shouldn't do, I would not recommend doing this. Actually, I'm not recommending you to do anything because I'm not a financial advisor. But if you do want to take this trade right here, low risk, that would be the trade, right? With the stop loss below that wick. Well, you know what? Yeah, probably below this one. Below that wick, below the reload zone, below the 0.786. So TP1, I would not take it at the 0. I would actually TP1 at that high right there. So right below the local high, right below the 0, kind of front running that level right there. And then the -236 lines up nicely with that area. So we're going to take 25% right below the -0.236. And then, of course, the final target would be at the -618, kind of front running that major resistance area right there. So the average R would be, let's see, that's the 50. So it's going to be between that one and that one. So probably around this area. It's 2.5, right? So the average R of this trade would be 2.5, which is absolutely great. I mean, you're going to be able to secure this trade much easier, right? Quite quickly. But entering right here is going to be very, very risky. So let me show you how I like to how I like to optimize my entry to get a much better entry and a much higher probability trade if this happens. So what I'd like to do is I want to wait for perhaps 1, 2, 3, 4 hour, like that would be the optimum scenario, right? You have like 3 or 4 4-hour candles closing down in this area, and then that last candle would be a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle with the stochastics RSI kind of bottoming out here and preferably also giving you a bull cross right here. The 4-hour bullish engulfing closes above the 50% with the bottoming out of the stochastics RSI. I would then enter either on the, and this depends on what the risk to reward is of the trade at the point of entry when it's confirmed, because the exact setup would be a little bit different than the current one, depending on when that 4-hour bullish engulfing candle closes. So I would perhaps enter at market on that candle close, right? And if you do enter at market on that candle close, you can then decide to either have a very tight stop loss below the wicks of the low time frame consolidation area inside the reload zone that confirmed entry. Basically, the you have stop loss right below the lows of the bounce that you are entering based on, right? All right, so that's what I'm watching, right? And another thing, another way to trade this would be to wait for that 4-hour candle to close, and then when that closes, if the 50% level is untouched after the breakout on the lower time frames. I know this, it's a lot, right? But let me try to illustrate what this would look like on the lower time frame. So here you have on the 4-hour, right? And then on the 1-hour, you might see that 4-hour candle that's going to close up here. On the 1-hour, that might look like a breakout, right? Breakout. And then if this level is untested, and what I mean then is that the breakout is like one clean 1-hour candle like this. If that's the case, you can put your entries right here, because usually what happens if it's a low time frame untested level, the level will get retested after the 4-hour candle closes. So you're gonna have a much better risk to reward, right? So you can even have a much lower stop loss, a much safer trade if doing it like that. But if you want to have a tight set, a very tight stop loss below the lows, you're going to have a very high risk to reward trade. It would be around somewhere between 4.5 and 5R for this trade. So the first trade, which is very risky, had a average R of 2.5, which is okay. It's a decent risk to reward trade, right? But the setup that would actually be a little bit safer and have more confirmation would give you much higher R. Now, there's a flip side to this, right? The fact that you wait for the optimum scenario also means that you're ready to miss out if 1 inch starts moving, right? And this is where trading psychology comes in play, right? And it's like, in the beginning, I told you that you might use market enter right here, right? You might use market enter right here and see the trade stop moving higher, right? And it's all good. Or you're going to wait for the optimum scenario, the perfect setup, everything aligns perfectly like I do, right? I always wait for everything to line up perfectly. If you do that, you run the risk of missing out on opportunity, right? But that's what trading is all about. You're only supposed to be trading when everything is perfect according to your system. So if you're trading right now today using the first idea that I talked about, so if you're trading today and you're thinking, I'm just going to market enter, I'm going to enter straight away, you probably take quite a lot of trades, right? And that's how I started when I started trading. I took maybe perhaps 5 trades a day, right? Maybe about 5 trades a day. At current times and in current market conditions and the way the market is moving right now, I probably take somewhere between 5 and 10 trades a month, right? So I went from taking 5 trades a day to taking 5 to 10 trades a month, right? Which is way, way, way less. But guess what? My profitability went up, right? My profitability went up. So the less I traded, the more money I made. It might sound weird, but you got to understand that the number one reason that most people fail at trading, either fail completely or chooses not to continue on the trading journey is over trading. Right? Over trading is the number one cause for new traders to fail. And that's why I'm saying this. You need to wait for the perfect scenario to happen, right? So with that said, I want to show you... no, I'm not going to show you that one. never mind. Let's go through the list here. So that's 1 inch, right? So now you know what my plans are for 1 inch, right? So do you think that this will happen? Do you think this low time frame breakout will happen while Bitcoin is trading below resistance? Most likely not, right? So when Bitcoin gets above this level right here, which is 21,590-ish on Bitstamp, when Bitcoin gets above that level, 1 inch will most likely start moving back above the daily 20 EMA, and that's when we might have a confirmed setup. If it happens tomorrow morning, that would be perfect, because that means we're going to have several 4-hour candles closing, and that would also increase the risk of that 4-hour bullish engulfing candle triggering the setup, right? So we're going to wait for Bitcoin to get above this level. If Bitcoin does get above that level, it will confirm a lot of setup. So we're going to be watching 1 inch right here. I'm going to put an alert on this level right here, and one level below the reload zone to kind of alert. No, never mind. I don't have to have a alert below. So you look at BAT, right? BAT is right now testing a major level right here, support level. It is the monthly open confluent with the 4-hour 20 EMA right here. Let's put the fibs on this latest up move, and you're also going to see that it's the pretty much the exact same move as on 1 inch, right? It's testing the 50% right here and that monthly open. So what I want to see right here, we could see price perhaps go lower, but want to see that 4-hour bullish engulfing. A problem here is the fact that the daily 50 EMA is very close, right? And if you zoom out, you're going to see that BAT is right now actually trading inside a major resistance area. So I think for BAT, we have a possible, we have a quite nice possible long-term setup right here, if in case Bitcoin actually breaks market structure in a big way. Because what we're then looking for, if Bitcoin starts trading like this, right, we have a bullish break in market structure and very likely a high time frame bottom as well. I'm not going to go into the details of why I think this perhaps is a high time frame bottom. Of course, it's going to have to do with the MBRVC score in the buy zone and the NUPL in the capitulation zone. Let's do a live on that on Monday, right? But there is a possibility that Bitcoin is putting in a potential high time frame bottom right here. And if that is the case, altcoins that look like BAT right here, which is trading above the daily 20 EMA and the daily 50 EMA with a lot of room, up to the next resistance, right? This would be I don't know what that was. But we have a resistance area in this level right here. That is a potential 40 to 50% move on the BAT. These are the altcoins that we should be focused on if Bitcoin really does put in a bullish break in the market structure. Now, if that doesn't happen, we might still have some interesting trades on altcoins like 1inch, but these are short term. BAT is a good candidate for a medium term to long term swing trade that might be open for a week, 2 weeks, or perhaps even 3 weeks. All right, let's take a look at YFII. I don't know. Let's see if we have it on FTX. Do we? Yes, we have. Let's see. All right, so it pumped today, and so one thing you gotta remember when you see a shot like this and you see an altcoin like YFII, YFI. How should you even pronounce that? I don't know. When you see a coin like this, you might be asking. I think a lot of new traders, they see something like this and they're going to be like, holy shit, I'm going to be buying this because it's pumping and it's going to be pumping more. Well, yes, it works like that most likely in the bull market, but we are not in the bull market. We're in the bear market. Like, if you don't understand that, I mean, it's a bear market. Look at Bitcoin. So pumps like these are not supposed to be bought in the bear market. Rallies are for selling in the bear market, while dips are for buying in the bull market. So in the bull market, in the bear market, you should be selling the rallies, while in the bull market, you should be buying the dips, right? A lot of people think you should just be buying every dip in a bear market, but usually what happens is the dip will just keep on dipping. So you have a nice pump here on YFI. So if you want to long this, you have to wait for some confirmation that price is ready to move higher, so that this is just not a relief rally and people are just going to start shorting this like crazy, and it's just going to continue the trade, the trend straight down, right? So let's go to the 4 hour and let's see if we can find any decent levels here that might actually confirm that this is strong and it might hold. So one of my criteria to go long on any asset is it should be above the daily 20 and 50 EMA. Now, of course, there's in some rare cases, like on 1 inch right here, you see 1 inch, it's not above the daily 50. On some rare occasions, when everything kind of lines up, I can go long from the daily 20 to the daily 50 EMA as well, if that makes sense. But let's continue with Wi-Fi here, and we see a pretty decent level right here, but it's just the move is too big in my opinion. What we want to see is we want to see a move down to this area right here, where we have the daily 20 EMA and the daily 50 EMA. If we can get a move down into the reload zone right here, the RLC, and create a bottom down here, that would be something I might actually be interested in buying, right? And if you want to add some extra confirmation, you're going to be using that 50% level as the confirmation area, right? So you move down, create a bottom, and then you go long in a break and retest of the 50, right? That's how I would play this. Right now, I think it's very dangerous to be longing a pump like this in a bear market. What else do we have? Let's see, we have Matic. So RL is saying we have the same Matic, the same setup on Matic. I'm thinking you're probably referring to the same setup as on 1 inch, and I wouldn't really I wouldn't agree here actually, because the thing with 1 inch is the fact that 1 inch is so Matic is actually trading on this resistance, while 1 inch is kind of trading down here. So you look at 1 inch and you see that the resistance from 1 inch is much higher, so you have a lot of room to the upside, while on Matic you're actually already at that resistance. So the idea on 1 inch is we're going to be trading this move. So on Matic, the move has already happened, right? The move has already happened. But let's take a look here, see if we can find out where the reload zone is of this move, and if it's confluent with the daily 20, which it is. It kind of looks like a decent decent level for potential trade right here. So this would be, I don't know, this area right here, I would probably be looking for something like this, right? But it's just, it doesn't really align, because you look at the extensions here on the fib as well. You see that the daily 50 EMA comes in at the monthly open and right above the 0, but on 1 inch the extension fibs actually comes in perfectly at the resistance. So that's something I want to see. I want to see support and resistance aligning with my Fibonacci level. So even though Matic looks interesting, it's not ticking all the boxes that I would want to see from a trade based on my system. All right, so I have Sol. Do I have Sol on the chart? Yes, I actually have Sol USDT here. So that's on Binance, yeah. This is actually on my watch list right here. And what I like about Sol right here is the fact that it's and I quite like Sol here. Now, the resistance here isn't as clear. There's a lot of levels right here. There's a lot of levels right here. I do think that this is some sort of resistance, and then the next one comes in here right around the minus 618, where we have the daily 50 EMA. We also have to pay close attention to the monthly open right here, which is most likely going to act as strong resistance. But then again, we're if we do enter a trade down here in the reload zone and we hit the 0 and the -236, we're still going to be out of the position by 50%. So we can as well just let that run to the last take profit, even with the monthly open being right above. So on SOL right here, I would like to see a move lower, right? And move lower to test the 37 area. I would like to see a confirmation of a bounce with a 4-hour bullish engulfing and a stochastic RSI bull cross down in this area. That would alert me to go long with TP1 at 0, TP2 at the -236, and TP3 on the daily 50 EMA or the -0.618, depending on which comes first. So that's SOL. I quite like that one. Let's see if we have another request. We got Cardano, we got ADA. By the way, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel, because you're going to be seeing me going live much more often on this channel. And if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button. So we got Cardano right here. Nothing interesting here, honestly. Like, I don't care if you love a Cardano or ADA. I'm just gonna like, I don't care what products I'm looking at. I'm just thinking, is this something I might be going long on? And I'm watching this and there's nothing. And of course there's something, right? There's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be something. But I've learned to watch the chart from a very specific perspective, right? A very specific perspective based on my system, right? So if it doesn't align with my system, I don't care, really. And that's kind of what Cardano does here. It just doesn't give me anything. Gala. Let's see what this is. Yeah, okay, so it's below the daily 20 EMA, which tells me there's not a lot of strength here, and resistance is too close above. But yeah, I would say that there might be a trade here on a break and retest of the daily 20 EMA. In that case, the stop loss would be below that wick. But the risk, I mean, it's a 9% stop loss. The risk to reward here is quite bad. I would not, unless there's like some super interesting fundamentals going on here. I mean, what is this? No. I mean, this shot right here is just the definition of a shit coin. This looks absolutely terrible. Like, do not touch this, please. Unless it's like a long-term hold and you think it's the best product ever. And buy as much as you want. But the chart tells me that unless it can reclaim the monthly open, it's dead, right? All right, so let's look at SIL. Do we have here SIL? So looking at the daily, we're testing the daily 50 EMA, but we do have a nice resistance area right here. I don't like the fact that we already tested that resistance. Yeah, this is quite messy. I don't really like this. So yeah, I don't know, man. SIL, it's just yeah, it kind of I don't know. I don't like this. I feel like it needs to reclaim this whole area right here. So I'm going to put an alert on SIL right at this level right here. And if it gets hit, I might be interested in perhaps going long at a later stage, but not at this point. But if it can get up to 0.06 or something like that, I might be interested in SIL. All right, we got AVE. Yeah, I think that there's definitely something here if we can reclaim the daily 20 EMA. We might want to see move up into, I mean, this region right here, or the daily 50 EMA, which is below. But I'm not sure how exactly I would play this at this stage, but something like this, right? It does look interesting. I'm going to be adding this to the green list. So let's add this to the second one, because there's something here, right? And let's add an alert as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you like the product, right? And but also, like, I'm just a technical trader. I don't really know what I'm trading or why I'm. Well, I know why I'm trading it, because it's, the technicals line up with my system, but I don't really know what I'm trading. So if you look, like, let's look at this from a high time frame perspective, because I do think that's the only way to really watch something like this. If you really like the product. So first of all, you look at this and you think, yeah, it's taking a hit. You could say it's taking a hit from this, but like, what needs to happen here? What needs to happen here for me to feel there's some strength back in the market? And I do think that we need to reclaim this level, which is the 0.1 area. So let's assume that happens and we have some sort of, rounded bottom here, right? With some type of break and retest of this level right here. Then yeah, if that's the case, definitely I would definitely consider buying this. If there's fundamental reasons to do so. And a 2x on this is not, it's very possible up to that level right there. So that would be about a 2x from that break and retest. So from about 0.1 to 0.2, it definitely makes sense, right? But for this to make sense, for a trade, you have to have a really good reason to like this product, right? All right, so let's look at DOT. Actually, I'm going to put an alert right here, in case that happens. Remember, guys, I'm not bullish. All right, we're still in the bear market. Everything still looks like shit. Bitcoin is most likely not going to break out. We're most likely not going to get these altcoin setups. We're most likely going to be trading lower. We're not out of the bear market even close, right? But that doesn't really matter. So what matters is we look at opportunities and we try to paint a picture of what scenarios do we have, and if Bitcoin breaks out, if we have these altcoin setups lining up, it would be a shame to miss out on some obvious setups just because we didn't at least entertain the idea of a relief rally, right? So trading is all about trying to find, just letting the market kind of speak to you, right? Letting the market give you whatever the market wants to give you, and not try to predict what the market is going to give you. So some people, they go long or short based on what they think will happen. It's much better to have different scenarios, and when one scenario gets activated, you know exactly what to do. And that's what I'm trying to do here, right? The chances that these setups right here activate on 1inch and BAT and SOL, I think they're very, very low. But if they do activate, it's just, let's just take the trade, right? So let's take a look at DOT right here. So first, we're going to be looking at it from a high time frame perspective right here with the moving averages on. Yeah, obviously not looking very beautiful on the daily. On the 4-hour, there's definitely something going on here, but for this to happen, Bitcoin needs to break out. But then again, I think the last target on DOT right here would be the daily 50 or the monthly open. But I do feel like this cluster, like this resistance cluster or whatever, is it's too close. You know, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. It's too close. So we need to find setups where there's more room between resistance and support. There's going to be like, yeah, because if there's less price action between support and resistance, the chances of price actually getting through that area is much higher. We're looking for, the path of least resistance. So let's look at another one, which is seller. I don't know, like this is a hard one, but what I like about this one is, not sure what I like about this one. I'm just gonna put an alert right here. All right, so we have comp. I do like comp because here, what you have here is, let's put a fib on here. Then we're gonna put a fib on this move as well. So you could definitely see it test this level right here. For a move. So if I have 0, -236, and -618. So yeah, this is actually one I like. The average R of this one would be around 2.5. And if you do enter here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Like there's a lot of space between support and resistance right here. So that's what we want. Like if you see a lot of wicks and candles, going down here, not a lot of empty space. We want empty space between support and resistance. That gives us a lot of higher probability of price just breaking through that area, right? All right, so like I said, I'm just gonna do a quick update today. I've been live for about 40 minutes now, and we went through a couple of interesting altcoin setups, and hopefully you guys have some ideas on what we could potentially go long on. Here's another one, QTOM. I like this one. So imagine if we have a break and retest of the 20 EMA right here. What we have then is a potential long setup from that support stop loss below the last swing low up to this area right here. I do think the average R using my TP strategy would be around 2.5 as well. So these are the trades I'm looking at, right? We have 1 inch, BAT, SOL, QTOM, and let's look at Theta as well. Yeah, I mean, this one is pretty good. Look at this. Theta is actually really good. This lines up nicely with BAT, right? So this has the same medium time frame potential as BAT. A break and retest of this level right here, like that. A break and retest of the daily 50, and we have a lot of room to the upside. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you for joining today, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you want to see more content like this one. We have a question about the trading sheet. I think the back testing template. I'm working on that. I'm fixing a couple of things on it, a couple of bugs. When it's ready, I will have that for all of you. It's a super good backtesting template to use when backtesting. I can almost guarantee that it will help you in your trading when using that. So keep an eye on this channel and my Twitter channel, where I'm going to be giving you that one completely for free. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the next one.